Welcome to a video on graphing functions using transformations. On this problem, use the given graph of the parent function, which is provided, to sketch the graph of each transformed function. So our goal is to sketch the graph of the equation y, where the graph of the function f of x is given. So based on how the equation y is defined, which is on part A, f of x plus 1 in parentheses, and then minus the 3. So this means that the plus 1 inside the parentheses is a shift of the graph of f of x 1 unit to the left. And the subtraction by 3 outside the parentheses is a shift of 3 units down. Hence, using a few points on the graph of the parent functions, we can transform the graph of f by applying those shifts. So I'll start out with the point 0, 0. We're going to move that 1 unit to the left and then 3 units down. So 1, 2, and 3. So there's our first point. And now the second point, 1 unit to the left, 3 units down. There's our second. And finally, I'm going to use the point 4, 2, 1 unit to the left, 3 units down. And now with those 3 points, we're going to sketch the same curve as the graph of the parent function f of x. And now let's label that as the equation y. For letter B, we're going to do the same. So again, the graph of the parent function is given. Inside the parentheses, f of quantity x minus 1. That minus 1 means it's a shift of 1 unit to the right. And then the minus sign in front of the function notation indicates that it is a reflection along the x-axis. And finally, the plus 2 at the end is a shift of 2 units up. We're going to apply again the transformations to a few points on the graph of the parent curve. We're going to transform the graph of the function in the order of operations. So write 1 first. Now take that number or that point and reflect it along the x-axis. So reflecting it along the x-axis simply means we're going to negate the y value. If we identify this point, the y value is 0, 1 followed by 0. So negating that keeps it at 0 again. So I'm going to indicate that point with a star this time. And then we're going to shift that 2 units up. So 1, 2. Our final location is at 1, 2. Okay, same thing with the next point. So shift this point 1 unit to the right. Reflect this point here about the x-axis. So the y value here is 1. Reflecting the 1 means negate the y coordinate, which gives us a y value of now -1. And now we're going to move this point here up 2 units. So 1, 2. So its new location is now at 2 followed by 1. And finally, our third point. So again, 1 unit to the right. Reflect along the x-axis and then 2. And now with those star points, we're going to connect them together using the square root graph. And that is the graph of the equation y.